Hey guys, I just wanted to apologise because as you can see I'm currently on holiday in Croatia. We batch recorded a bunch of episodes right before I went away, and unfortunately some issues happened with the audio, so we can't use the proper audio. We have to use the audio from the camera mic. The answers are still there. We wanted to release the episodes and provide that value, but the audio quality might not be quite as good as it usually is, so thank you for bearing with us, and I will see you when I get back home. In today's episode, I talk about when you need to potentially split into multiple accounts instead of just running one. Welcome to episode 60 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Random fact, before jumping straight into this episode, I freaking love sushi. I had some sushi yesterday. It was really good. I could eat sushi all day, and at one point I ordered it so much from my local restaurant that they started basically calling me their best customer, and every time I rang up they recognized my number and were like, "Hey, my best friend." That was kind of a bad place to be, and I think financially I needed like an intervention at that point.
This question is from Kamal. So I do parenting, illustration, and baby photography all in one Instagram account. I'm wondering, should I be creating separate accounts for all of these? It feels scary to start from scratch. I have been putting lots of effort into maintaining all these, like commenting and engaging. Please help.
Hey Kamal, welcome to the show. Great question. I know I talked recently about how to kind of put an umbrella over it. So if you really want to keep doing these things and you don't want to have separate accounts, there are ways of doing it, right? You can hack it. You can just have that umbrella like value proposition of what you're offering and house those things underneath that. I think having separate accounts can equally work. So I've been working with Tamer, a community member, and he does quite disparate things. So he does photography, a lot of like landscape photography and retouching on that side, but he also does like black letter calligraphy work, and they couldn't be more different in style. He's fantastic at both, but I think particularly like on his social media, on his Instagram, muddying the two would make for a very unfocused feed, and that's never a good thing, because when people follow you on social media, especially Instagram, it's because they glance at your feed and they go, wow, I like that kind of work. I know if I follow them, I'm going to see more of that kind of work, and that's why I'm going to follow them. Whereas if it's bouncing around all over the place, people are like, I'm not really sure what I'm going to get next. And I kind of like that, but I'm not sure about the rest. So in Tamer's case, I'm like, yeah, you should split that and go all in on like trying to target those totally different audiences on both accounts. So I would do two things. I would figure out, first of all, like how disparate are they? Like if they're totally different and you're targeting totally different people, then maybe do separate accounts. But if you're targeting, I think you mentioned parents and parents of newborns and that kind of thing, like if you're offering photography and illustration services for that same audience, absolutely just keep it under one. That's completely fine, because you're going to be targeting the same audience with all the content you're putting out. Maybe there's someone who wants a photograph of their baby, but also wants like an illustrated portrait done of the whole family. Like, if anything, you could upsell your services in that dynamic, and that would be a fantastic thing. That would let you leverage your skill set more and have a diversified product offering. So all of that's great. And I guess the final question would be, is there one thing out of those three that you love the most? Because it might be that you're just kind of doing all three because you kind of enjoy them all, but actually one out of the three you're super passionate about, and maybe just through sheer luck, that's the thing that you keep getting booked for the most as well. So maybe like illustration isn't really bringing in as much client work and you kind of enjoy it, but it's not your main thing. So maybe you actually delegate that to like a hobby, but photography seems to be where you get the real traction and you love that more than the other two combined. And so actually it's going to make you more focused by having that slight pivot, that refocusing, and just going all in on the photography and just pushing that with more clarity than ever. So I think it's having that audit, it's having that self-awareness to be like, who do you want to be reaching? What do you love doing the most? What are people willing to pay for the most? What has the best product market fit? And then trying to commit in some capacity. But if it turns out that all three things have legs, either just wrap an umbrella over it, or if they're totally disparate, then split off and have accounts. There's no one size fits all. You're just going to have to, really go away and do some thinking on this and try and assess what the next best step is. Question of the day: do you have one thing that you feel you're offering, or many? And if it's many, what are those things? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm really enjoying the YouTube show. If you are too, then be sure to hit the subscribe icon and tick the little bell to get notifications when I post new content on this platform.